here, at least on the DK side, I can mention. At least major, I don't know, major, not minor, but chains, which has been the most broken ability since the start of the game. They seem to fix it sometimes, they break it other times. They changed it over now to be a pull or a push to, or pull them or pull you to the enemy. Empowering chains is the one that pulls you toward enemies. So think of it now as like a standard gap closer for a DK now. Like the empowered chains will pull you to them if you need to. The other option, the pull one, is going to basically is going to refund you if you do not actually have the ability to pull somebody. I haven't tested it out myself, but I think that also means that if you hit somebody with it and you can't pull them, that still does damage for 0 cost. That's, I don't know, that's kind of broken there, but never does a whole lot of damage either, so I don't think it's that big of an issue. Unstable Flame and Burning Breath don't have a whole lot of changes. Lava Whip, still no stamina morph. Sorry, guys. Inferno. I should probably mention this as well. This one's had a change as well. Flames of Oblivion and Cauterize. Cauterize is the new healing ability, which a lot of people are going to be looking to use for like heal builds with the DK. The Flames of Oblivion is going to be used more for your other side of it, with Major Savagery, your stamina side. It has now a different way that it's handled. So you take Flames of Oblivion on, cast it. And now the toggle just doesn't go away. It's always giving you Major Savagery regardless. Or Major Savagery, Major Prophecy. But every time that you do this, you also gonna put a fire aura on you to do more damage for anything that's in your area. Or to the nearest enemy, at least. Launch this fireball to the nearest enemy every 5 seconds. And that fireball will go away after that 5 seconds is up. Here, I'll go and show that off a little bit here in a minute. Draconic Line. Not a whole lot changed here either. Coagulating Blood and Green Dragon Blood still kind of suck. Wish it wasn't so, but they got to get some fixes on that to make it more viable inside PvP. Molten Armaments. That did have a change, pretty major change as well. Now they changed it over to be 30 seconds. And it buffs enemies in your area, giving them either major sorcery and also giving them major brutality in one morph. If you go with molten armaments, now, it's giving your allies major sorcery and also increasing your fully charged heavy attacks by 40%. If you go with the other morph of it, it's going to give them sorcery and it's going to give them brutality, but not give you the bonus for your fully charged heavy attacks. India's Shield's pretty much the same. Stone Giant, and the other one is also the same. Fossilize, and all that really good stuff. That's... Oh, I almost missed one other ability here. The not the Corrosive Armor, but the Magma Armor now also gives a 4-person damage shield for about 100% of their health. Which, don't know if it's great or not, because that means that Barrier, which is now 6 people, gives, what is it, about 50%? 60%?
Good check.
Let's go see Magma Shield here. When activated, it gives enemies a damage shield for 100% of their max health for 9 seconds. And this is supposed to hit 4 people. Let me take a look at the support line. Barrier.
Up to 20k damage. It doesn't have a percentage.
28k damage. Okay. Well, it might be slightly more than certain builds, but like if you're running people with high health inside, especially inside PvP, that's not going to be that great compared to the 100% that you're supposed to get with this.
Would that be affected by Bastion though? Like if you had like a DK healer build with like a ton of points into Bastion, would that be affected by it since it's like a damage shield?
Well, Bastion would affect it for Barrier, but it wouldn't affect it for Magma Shell. Barrier would, because the barrier on that is a set amount, right? But you take a look at the Earthen Heart line with that. And it's not a set amount. It's not a set amount. It's 100% of their max health.
Okay, okay. That makes sense.
So just to show off this. Launches of the fireball.
I really like those changes, especially the cauterize change.
Yeah,
I
makes it a
think,
little bit more interesting for that one.
Yeah, I think DK healers are going to be a little more, like,
Viable.
out there, yeah. Well, like, the Trinamax set made it really good with Igneous Shield. It works really well.
Kind of, sorta, but Trinimac also had a few issues as well because it was a little bit. The heal was minor, but it could be good at times too. So, what abilities would you like to go over with Templar, Sork, or Nightblade? I think the one major one that we can probably talk about is the Breath of Life.
Breath of Life, yes, so many people are angry about that change. Mainly, if you guys know her, Miss Biz, we had like a back and forth Twitter conversation about this for like an hour. It was crazy.
Yeah.
But basically, right now, currently on live, I think it's 2 extra targets. So you heal yourself, and then you heal 2 people near you, like in your party, out of your party, whatever. They just near you, and they changed it to 1.
Yes.
So my big thing about that is, if you're using Breath of Life as your main heal, like, you're going to be out of magic anyway, so I don't think that's, like, a huge change, but, like, the other side of it that people are bringing up is, like, that's, like, your oh shit button, like, oh, this person is, like, at 10% Breath of Life, and now you're only going to be able to hit, like, you know, one other person with that, so I think it's going to make Templar healing a little more challenging, but, like, I don't think it's going to be, like a crazy change that people are going to
I can
take a lot to get used to.
I can see the oh shit button part of it, and if do you know if it works by the closest target or the person with the lowest amount of health?
Let's see. Healing yourself, wounded ally. It just one other injured target. I don't know, actually. Okay, I don't know if anybody's ever tested that.
As long as somebody else is in the party is injured, I guess what it's saying is, as long as nobody else in the party is injured, then it's going to go to the person that's had the most low health. So let's say the tank is taking damage, but none of your DPS is, then the healer is going to be healing the tank regardless, because Breath of Life is only going to go to one person. You know, I don't think it's a bad change, but did they reduce the magic cost on it?
That I'm not actually sure about.
Okay, because if they reduce the magic cost, I don't think you can really complain about it too much. Because let's say it was like 3,000 magicka before, right?
Yeah,
and now that they reduced
3,800 on my tooltip right now.
3,800. Okay, well, okay, 3,800, right? For 2 targets, right? But if you take it live, look at live, and if live is like 5,000 magicka for 3 targets, well, okay, they reduce the magic cost to handle those 2, you know, from reducing it from 3 targets over to 2 targets. That seems balanced to me. If they kept the cost the same but reduced it, then it's kind of an issue, because we already know that it's a high costing cast ability versus like using healing springs, mutagen, and a few other abilities. So they probably got to balance that out a little bit better, in my opinion. But like, it also makes it so that I think the other thing they're looking at is making sure that people aren't healing with dual wield and sword and board all the time. They want to have people equip the restoration staff.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, like like I said earlier, if you're just using that as like your main heal, I think that, you know, you're kind of going to have magicka issues anyway.
Yep. Yeah.
But like, there's so many other things you could do, like combat prayer, you know, healing springs. Like, if you really want an oh shit button, Templar has, you know, it's the only class with like a dedicated healing ultimate. And then beyond that, if you leveled, you know, your support skill line at all, there's Morph of Barrier that gives health recovery, and then the Giant Shield. So it's like, there's other options, so I don't think it's going to be like that big of an impact to the game, and like healing wise.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't think it's going to have a huge issue. It is going to take an adaptation to it.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's see here. What other abilities do you want to talk about on Templar? Anything else?
Dark Flare! Dark
Dark Flare.
Flare got
Okay.
a 12% damage buff, which I think is awesome. That's
Okay.
great. I think that's going to make Magicka Templar a little more scary in PvP because Dark Flare, it has that healing debuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, you Dark Flare, like, a DK, and usually, like, after that, you're able to, like, melt them.
Yep. Yep. So basically, you're getting the effect of reverberating bash or lethal arrow, which you have on the other side of it. The only issue I have with it right now, they've already found this out on the live server on PTS. There is a way to animation cancel it, so it never shows that you've actually cast Dark Flare.
Oh, no!
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
jeez.
They gotta get a handle around some of the animations on this.
I
Like,
can see that.
yeah, we should also mention here. This patch also had a bunch of changes to the animations. Try cleaning them up, make them a little bit easier to see, prioritize which ones we see. But I don't know if it's going to go live with this version of Thieves Guild because I think they said they're still working on improving it. So I don't think they wanted to put it forward. Nightblade. I'm trying to think of what I heard on Nightblades, and I'm drawing a blank at the moment. I apologize for viewers.
Nightblade healers, I think, were nerfed a little bit. Like, you get a little bit less healing from Swallow Soul, I think.
Yes. Because a lot of builds inside PvP would be like sustained Nightblades, where they just keep on spamming Swallow Soul. So they're doing a shit ton of damage, they're healing themselves, and they're blocking the entire time so they don't take any damage. And it was pissing off a lot of people. That was definitely nasty when we saw that there.
But yeah, like, how are you, supposed to combat somebody that can, like, kill you and heal themselves, like, out-heal your damage at the same time? Like, it's insane. It's something that's needed to be fixed, I think.
Or at least, like, put a cast time to it. That's the other way to handle it, too. I think, let's see the other one. Sorks had a few changes in there. I think a lot of people were concerned that it didn't have any major changes. I should also say, like, while I say the reason that I don't have a whole lot of knowledge on some of the things that changed, there wasn't a whole lot of major changes to those two classes this patch. Like, there have been some changes, but like not like.
I just remembered one.
Oh, what?
The cloak changes. So cloak no longer removes dots. Instead, for the duration of you being invisible, the dot ticks for 0.
Yes. So it wasn't. There's. I should correct myself as well. No major improvements to Nightblades or Sorks this patch. But yes, the cloak is kind of a nerf, but it's also kind of makes sense though too. So, it also changes to stealth that we should probably discuss as well, because it's not just affecting Nightblades; it's also affecting everyone throughout the class here. So, the first thing we should go over is the changes to cloak or to stealth there, where if you get detected out of stealth, you have a time frame that you cannot get yourself back in stealth if they can detect you. So let's say I just got myself tagged and I'm fighting somebody. I can't get myself I can't get myself into cloaking if they can see me. So if I spam using a invisibility pot, using shadow cloak or something like that, it's not actually going to put me into stealth. Like, if the enemy can see me in that range. And there's a few times that they can see you that, with regardless of that, with other abilities such as Mage Light and Revealing Flare, which will keep you unstealth for 3 seconds. So, for that time frame, using Invisibility Pot, use Dark Cloak, there's nothing you can do. It's just wasting your mana, you're just wasting your pots. Nothing you can do. You're not even going to blink in and out of the screen like you used to. So that's one change there, and then like you said, Dark Cloak will stop the damage of a dot, but it will not remove it anymore. So basically, you have to either wait and cloak out the entire duration of that dot, or you have to purge it, or you have to do something to get rid of it. So one thing that bothers me on that, though, it doesn't seem like we only have one class that can really purge things, which is the Templar.
Yeah.
And we have a major ability that can remove it, but it's loud as hell. You can't really use it in stealth. And stamina builds are never going to be able to use it because it costs way too much magicka. So, does that seem right? Like, shouldn't we have a stamina equivalent at some point?
I don't know. I feel like the gap between like stamina and magicka is so like big
That
right now. Like giving that to stamina would just like set
break it,
magicka back even more.
yeah.
It would break it even more because like one thing they also changed, talking about skills, is they did change purge. They changed efficient purge, I believe. So that costs more, but like you could get the other morph of it, which has a heal on top of it.
So yeah, efficient purge, reduced cost. So instead of 7,000, it's now 4,800, which was I think like 3,000 regular. Then cleanse. If negative fix is removed, target is healed for those.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be good, but it still costs a shit ton of that. You'd have to have a lot of dots on there to like really do it.
Yeah.
Effects. Two negative effects as well, not like a full like 4 or anything else like that. Which I've heard people complain. Why doesn't cleanse or efficient purge just get rid of everything? But you got to have something that you spam on there. But it's only going to remove 2. So how much do you? Negative effects are removed. Heal target is healed for 15% of their maximum health. So you can heal somebody for a maximum of 30% of their health, which is about the same as your green dragon blood, which is going to be halved inside PvP.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still going to suck.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. Oh, trying to think, but I don't know. I just feel like there should be like a path to them to getting a purge or something in there that doesn't involve them just being well, I'm just thinking like because Templars have this ability, like Templars can purge themselves regardless. With it still costs it still costs magicka to do it, but it's a low magicka cost to cast it. So it kind of requires that you have a Templar there.
Yeah.
Versus, like, any other class doesn't have the ability to purge anything unless they get high alliance points in the support class to use purge.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't. Maybe a stamina ability that has to be like charged. But
I don't know. I don't feel like stamina class or stamina builds like really
or an
need
ultimate.
That. Like a purging ultimate?
Yeah. Because think about it. If you're using a purging ultimate, right, then you're not using it for damage. Which is, that's the trade-off. You have either you choose to use a purge to use this ultimate here to get rid of these ability, to wipe the slate clean of all your damage, or you choose to do damage to kill the enemy quicker. But that seems like a
I don't know.
trade-off.
I feel like if you're fighting a DK or somebody that uses dots, that would be kind of redundant though, because like there you go, you purge all the dots, and they're just gonna put them right back on you if you're fighting them. If you can't get away. So I don't know. I feel like an ultimate would be kind of redundant, and you get so much healing. Like Pure made a good point right there with rally and vigor.
Yeah.
As a stamina build, like it's insane how much healing you get from that. That's my opinion. I don't think stamina builds need a stamina purge type thing.
Yeah, maybe not. Yeah, at least in this build right now.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Or maybe something where they take where they take the dots and they put them on, like reflect it. I don't know.
Oh jeez.
Could you imagine that? You're a DK and you're going against it, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh wait, I'm taking all the damage from my dots now. Great.
Reflective dots would suck. Oh my god.
It will go fitting with the reflective scales that they keep on everyone bitches about.
That's true. Oh, another Templar change that I just remembered. Eclipse,
yes.
Which is the morph of, or what is it? Total Dark Eclipse, Unstable Core, whatever. That is going to reflect physical projectiles, so like arrows, etc. That I think is a nasty change. Also for Magicka Templar, like I feel like we're gonna see a lot more Magicka Templars, Magicka DKs in PvP again.
Mm-hmm. All right. So that's it for class abilities here. Let's take a look at weapon abilities to see if there's anything that was really that major with it. Not a whole lot though that I noticed. Dual wield had most of the same. Two-hand is mostly the same. Children boards mostly the same.
They
Bow.
increased the radius on Whirlwind Steel Tornado.
Oh yes. I
I think that's a huge thing because
Steel Tornado.
spin to win in every aspect of the game.
But it's still useful.
Oh yeah,
Like
it's
it still
useful.
does damage in the same radius it should, and still does a shit ton of damage. I don't know if it's going to be that great. I mean, unless people are really stacking up on top of each other. Even the original Steel Tornado, like you can dodge roll out of the radius pretty easily. If it was, just, he's just going into a group and spinning and all that stuff. If it's like solo, I don't think it's going to help a lot of people because people are still going to spin to win to find these people. Regardless, then they're going to be right up on top of you. Like a lot of people get pissed off with it because they think the radius is like too huge, but most times they're already dead because they're already in the radius and they can't get themselves out. Like they roll dodge, and the guy just sprints up and just spins, or just uses like one gap closer and they're in there. So I don't know if it's going to be a huge change to things, but it's not bad. It's not going to really hurt a whole lot of people on the PvE side, I could at least say. Bow. Let me see if they added the new effect here. Okay. You successfully light and heavy attacks increase your damage from bow abilities by 5% up to 4 seconds, stacking 3 times. So you can get a total 15% more damage when you successfully light and heavy attacks your abilities. So like just go ahead and spam light attacks like 3 times in a row and you got a 50% increase.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
For bow? Wow. Alright. Yeah. I did not see that in the patch notes.
Yeah, that's Hawkeye. Well, they've been talking about this for a little bit here. But the only issue I see with this is for 4 seconds, right? Meaning if you're weaving in abilities, remember you're still beholden to the global cooldown. So you can get one heavy or light. You can get one light attack in there every second, or every 1.3 seconds, or something like that. Per the global cooldown on attacks. The heavy attack takes 2 seconds to charge up. So if you're going to put 2 heavy attacks, fully charged heavy attacks, into a bow, that's only going to give you 10%. Because you're not able to get the third one in time before the first one's going to run out. So,
okay.
Again, Zoss, you keep on saying that you want us to do fully charged heavy attacks, but you don't give us enough time and certain abilities to really warrant it.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I think they need to maybe rethink that.
Yeah, well, they just got to increase the time, maybe 5 seconds?
Yeah.
6 seconds? Lethal Arrow is another example why that's going to be a pain in the ass, because Lethal Arrow's cast time is 1 second. If I want to combine Hawkeye with this Lethal Arrow, I'd have to cast the Lethal Arrow, and then hopefully I can get, like, 1 or 2 attacks in there, because waiting that 1 second for the full cast time on it is going to be an eternity. I just can't see it being too useful in the long run with this Hawkeye, unless they increase it by 6 seconds. At least. Let's see, Destruction. I didn't take a whole lot in Destruction because I haven't bothered with the Destruction build in a long time.
They changed something about Unstable Wall of Elements. So that's the morph where like you hit the ground and then it explodes at the end. The final explosion from that does 75% more damage.
Okay.
So that's interesting. I think that's going to be used more so in PvE, maybe like a Zerg Ball type tight group situation in PvP.
Sorry.
But I don't know. I don't really see that being used maybe more so over like Magic Dead or something, because the groups that arm up with AoE and then they go in and they do their thing. Like I don't really see a lot of people using that unless it was broken, which I haven't tested it, so I don't know.
Yep. And Restoration, not a whole lot changed there either.
I guess the secondary heal from Mutagen can crit.
Yeah, but that was more of a bug fix, I think.
Yeah, that was a bug. Yeah.
Speaking of bugs, 2 things I did notice as well. Restoration staffs and lightning staffs. They now fixed it so the damage increase from molten armaments will now apply properly. And Another thing I had to test is Spawn of Follow was supposedly not working with heavy attacks from that. I believe they fixed that, but I have not tried it myself to verify.
Okay.
Alright, so just taking a look at chat here, guys. Apologies for not reading chat here. We're trying to get through some of this, so if you have questions, we will try to look through it, but we'll have to take it at breaks so we don't get ourselves too, I don't know, ranty. Do you have any, if you have any chance to purge, okay, just per that original conversation, okay. And ready to give us host. So give people a chance to answer any questions there, or ask any questions there. Armor-based skill lines, not a whole lot changed. Role-based skill lines, not a whole lot changed. Guild lines, yes, we had some changes here. Rearming trap will no longer rearm automatically when the enemy's already standing on top of it. That was like a big bug that they were using before.
Yeah,
So,
I
like,
heard about that.
It just like kept on doing like massive amounts of damage when people were stepping on top of it, plus giving major force. Or minor force, I should say. Mage's Guild line. Yes, we have a couple major changes here. First being, I should say, the ultimates is Meteor. Meteor is no longer reflectable.
That's so scary. Like, the scariest sound to me in PvP is, like, when you hear that meteor, like, you know what's gonna hit you, and, like, if you've got wings, you're like, yeah, okay, I got this, but, like, now you can't even do that, so it's, like, so scary. Oh, man. That's such a scary ability. Like, just the sound, it's like, ugh.
I'm just gonna wait to see, like, I want to make a brigade, okay? Like a 10-person brigade. We just find somebody. And when we find them, we're all in stealth, and we just, everyone, okay, meteor, now.
Oh.
Just watch what happens. As they just go, boop. And this is like, okay, run off, charge up ultimate again, come back. Because what are they going to do? Well, actually, the only thing you can really do is block, right?
Yeah, block and try to get out of the AoE. Because it leaves that nasty ground AoE if you stand in it, you take a lot of damage. And I think that's going to be really disgusting for anybody that's using a Valken Scoria helmet, because that can't be blocked, or it can be blocked, but it can't be reflected anymore as well.
Yes, exactly.
And it procs more and does more damage. They added that. That's a nice change, I think.
Right. And now, Mage Light, and some of the changes that we had there. Now,
That was confusing, the changes.
Okay. The basic of it, okay? When you slot it, you have Major Prophecy, and your spell growth is increased. You don't have to keep it on. You also prevent any stuns, and they reduce damage and stealth. The other version of it basically gives more magicka back. Now, the other thing they did is, basically every time that you want to cast it, it's going to cast magicka to use it, but it's going to summon a mode of Mage Light, revealing stealth enemies and invisible enemies around you for 6 seconds. Exposing enemies cannot return to stealth or invisibility for 3 seconds. Okay, that has to be activated. You don't have an option. But that's going to be like 12 meters on top of that, so if you want to go ahead and find people, you could combine that with a detection pot, you can combine that with the sentry set, and all that stuff is going to equal a large radius you can find people in. And basically, they're not going to be able to get back into invisibility for 3 seconds. There's no option. They can't use visibility pots. They cannot use Dark Cloak. I think it's a good ability because right now, like, DK, or not DKs, Nightblades would just keep on spamming Dark Cloak, even though they kept on getting detected, so you couldn't even hit them because, like, you know, you'd be charging up an ability, and as soon as they go into Cloak, regardless of the fact that you can see them as soon as they get back, as soon as they cast it, your ability would cancel if you had any charge up. So it's like spam to win, I guess. And I'm not too bad with it. It gives an ability to it, also gives a passive to it. Only problem I see with it is, now instead of just getting that passive bonus to finding people, you're going to have to cast magic, which before you could easily just keep it on and not have to actually think about it. So, it's a balance in one way, it's a balance in another, I guess.
Oh, what do you think about the changes to the assault and support skill lines to get to assault and support 10? Are you in favor of like less AP getting to that level, or like are you kind of like,
I'm okay with them increasing it because I mean I or like giving more or lowering the cost because basically like right now to get like okay, let's just do something for the PvPers as well. If you go ahead and you kill somebody because you have proxy debt and you teabag that person because they just started out PvP that day and you're like, get good. How the fuck are they going to get good if they can't even get the AP to get that goddamn skill? Like, it's like you're using an ability that you got from the grinding that you did doing this, and no one else here can afford the goddamn skill. So, what? You're good because you stayed in PvP long enough to get this, and now you're going to be trash talking to other people about this? No. And I'm actually kind of happy they lowered it now, or lowered this down now, because people are actually going to be using magic adept in more situations where like only like the people that were doing PvP solid for a couple months could actually get it and afford it. So I think it's a good thing, but I don't know. It's a double-edged sword there too, because now that they're lowering this, what do people in PvP have to do or have to grind? Because you're already at the top of your skill level with assault, right? You don't have any grinding left to do on it. So what's your point in PvP?
Akaviri?
I guess.
Or gear. They did add new PvP rewards as well. So, and one thing we didn't touch on was the helmets for AP and gold.
Oh yes. I plan to.
That is a big thing.
Yep, I plan to get into that with the sets, the new sets here that we're going to be going over here a little bit. But yeah, lowering the AP cost in this, I'm happy about it, but I feel like they need new lines. Like they need new reasons to go down and new skills to give. And I mean, PvPers have been complaining for a long while now that they want new stuff in their stuff. They don't want to just have PvE updates, right?
Yeah.
So I do feel like there should be extra skill lines in this, but when you have when you have abilities that are such, how do you put it? They're so required to be able to kill somebody or kill groups, as it is with detonation, as it is with vigor for any stamina build. I feel like that it should be lowered because those are like some of the most important abilities for some of those players to be able to have a chance inside PvP.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the other abilities, revealing flare, some people may still pay or put a skill point into it, but I don't see it being really that great still, even with this change to make it so it's easier to find them when they're coming out of stealth. Guard still sucks.
Yeah, they really need to do something with guard. I don't really see a point in even trying to use that.
Yeah, well, they are adding the ability, you and your allies gain major vitality. They talked about changing guard over so you can guard a person individually, right? And basically saying that if they're in range of you, you basically take the hit for them.
Yeah.
Well, that's good and bad. There's not a whole lot of tanks inside PvP though, and part of this because heavy armor sucks so bad. If they improve heavy armor and they make something that you can actually mitigate, fine, that'd be good. My recommendation though, make it so that guard now anything that you intercept basically gives you a second ability. So you're charging up guard using this, and the first morph of it is going to give you a damage shield to you and your party. So, like, let's say you got to be hit for a certain amount of points per your health, or something like that. Like, 50% of your health has to be taken, and it's going to build up. Even if you're healed, it's going to build up that guard reservoir. And the first one is giving you a heal. The second one is giving you a retaliation. So, like, you take 50% of your health or something like that, and then you just automatically deliver that back to the enemy. Which would be really interesting, especially for a heavy tank type of build that, like, has usually low damage
Yeah.
can now just like, oh, you keep on hitting me, hitting me, hitting me. Okay, now I'm just going to reflect back and pay you back everything you just give to me. You know, and
Hmm.
people would, I guarantee, if like I could see a build right around that where, people turtle up, and then okay, hit guard, bash the person away, and then do a few more effects, and then they're dead.
Yeah.
And I think that would be a good way to handle that. But they've got to change guard. Guard is like one of the worst abilities I see in the game right now.
I definitely agree. I don't know I've never even seen it used. Like, I had to, like, unlock it just to see, like, what it looked like, because I've never
Yeah.
seen anybody use it before.
I'll do a day where I just keep on using it over and over again just to see what the frick happens. All right. So that covers some of the champion point changes, some of the trial changes, and some of the ability changes. Unless you have something else I should mention or go over, or anyone should chat has something.
I don't think so. There was the Argonian change, but I don't know if that's even worth really touching on. Poor Argonian.
Or Guardians.
So they increased the maximum health bonus from their passives to 369 from 246. So, I mean, if you already have an Argonian, that's nice, but I don't think there's really, like, a reason to pick them so much.
I see a lot of people going Argonian now, though, because of the new set.
The Alchemist, yep.
Yep. But that's not the entire reason you should go with an Argonian, I think. But
yeah. That was just like when people figured out before, like the synergy with an Argonian Nightblade with the potion thing before they nerfed it. Like a lot of people were rolling Argonian Nightblade, but like it's such like a little like niche build. Like it's like if something gets changed, like your entire character, it doesn't really become useless, but it's just like, oh well, you could have mitigated that by rolling another race. So it's like, oh, I don't know.
Well, no. Zoss likes roleplay. So they wanted more Argonian role players, so they nerfed the build. So they got no reason to play it.
I still have an Argonian Nightblade from like the first time around when people were figuring out like the potion synergy. So I'm interested to try the Alchemist build, but I don't know. I still don't really see a reason to roll an Argonian.
Right, I agree with you. All right, so I think that'll wrap up our champion point and ability and trial review. Keep on watching a little bit more, guys. We'll get over into the new sets and motifs here in just a minute. And done. Okay.